What's going on, people? So, got another Iron Studios batch of Ninja Turtles to talk about. Not these here, that's already been done. Those over there, the ones you can't see because I already have them on the stand and stuff, right? So, much like the last video I did on stuff like this, it's not gonna be like all my other reviews where what I'm saying matches up with like the pictures you see, because I'm gonna talk a lot and I'm just gonna show you a bunch of pictures along the way. So hopefully you just like watch it and listen to it and let it all play out, as Matt Hardy would say, who actually just was on TNA last night, so good for him, right? And in the end, you should walk away with maybe not all your questions answered, definitely not all your questions answered, but probably like a chunk of them. And if anything, hopefully it's at least enough to let you know if you should like maybe look deeper into buying some of these or not, right? Because they can be pricey, so it's definitely something that you might want to think twice about, I suppose. But either way, so let's go get on into it, right? So the one thing I will say, starting with like the packaging and stuff, the packaging is actually pretty nice. Shipping and all that good stuff is pretty nice too. So much like a lot of these things, they come in like the fancy boxes, and then those boxes are put into cardboard boxes to mail out or whatever. If you order from like from Sideshow, I know they'll give you like the double box option to put that into then another cardboard box. But these for me came straight from Iron Studios, $200 a piece in case you're curious. And they didn't quite do that because they put them all into one large box anyway, because I ordered all four at the same time. So there was that. But if you're wondering how they're going to arrive, like the shipping quality is still going to be fine because they're in some very thick styrofoam in there, and all the pieces are like placed neatly inside and stuff, and sometimes you have a little extra packaging even in there. So all in all, your figure should come in pretty good, so there's that. Like I said, these did come in at $200 a piece. They are of the Deluxe series of the BDS, so Battle Diorama Statue or whatever. So those usually do have a higher price tag, but they go a little deeper into the effort on those, so I'd say it's kind of worth it. But another part of this one is that these were limited to 100 a piece, so maybe that's where part of the price comes in too. I'm not really 100% sure. But as far as the figures themselves, right, assembly, they take a little bit, right, because you do have different pieces that are, some are magnetic or whatever, some you just kind of slip in there. I do like the magnet piece because it helps like the arms stay in a little more secure than other means would be. So you got that stuff going on, but otherwise it's a lot of just like plug and play sort of thing. And the materials themselves though are actually really nice. The swords that Leonardo had, I like the way they did that because it's almost like some real metal or something going on in there. And then the rest of it, it's like PVC and resin and metal, fabric, all the stuff that you would think you should need. It's all going in there. So depending on where you look on the figure, you're going to see different stuff, right? So I do really like how they did that. That's a very nice touch, at least in my opinion. Because again, when you're spending a certain amount of money on something, you kind of want it to come off a certain way as far as like a deluxe feel, like a premium feel, like real quality. And they definitely delivered on those, so I've got no complaints there, none whatsoever. But past that, one of the things to bring up, I suppose, would be like the sizing of them. Because when you think 1/10 scale statues, right, if you have some, say like my Havoc statue or whatever, it's kind of like a wider base because of the way he's standing, like his energy projection thing. And so that's kind of how Donatello is, right? Because he's got the bow and that's kind of a longer weapon and all. And the way he's holding it, it just kind of makes for like it doesn't look super tall, but it's deep, right? And then when you look at, say, like I think it's like the Raphael one, not so much, right? So the thing I'm trying to get to you right there is just saying, like, when you think 1/10 scale statues, yes, the body of the actual character is going to be that 1/10 scale and the things around them. But the thing to consider as far as like the sizing and stuff, something to keep in mind is going to be, what are they doing in that particular situation? What are they standing on? How are they posed? All that stuff, right? Because it does, when you look at them all against like various other figures, whatever, they scale up pretty nice to the other 1/10 scales. Like they look like they belong, minus the fact that these look better. So they don't. So in that way, they do stand out. But if you have a variety of 1/10 scale statues, I think you'll be fine with getting these and putting them in the mix too. So take that for whatever it's worth and do whatever you want to do. But all in all, just looking at this from top to bottom and everything that went into it, $200 a piece, yeah, it's not cheap, right? I mean, I think it's worth it, but that's just like for me personally, right? That's a question for you and however much money you think is worth spending on action figures and all that stuff, because that varies for a lot of people, right? And after this, I'm going to be talking about the Mezco figures, and those were, I think, $400 for like 4 small figures, right? But it's like, if you think about Mafex, it's very similar. So the price point thing, that's going to vary from everybody. But I can confidently say that, in my opinion, these are totally worth the money. I mean, yeah, the money is worth it because of the quality that you get out of the figure, right? So if you don't even buy a lot of stuff and you just want the thing you get to be good, I think you'll be fine. But from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, wherever you are. I have a couple other things to talk about, those Mezco things included, so I'm going to do that. Later, people.